This is another test recording.
How you doing, bitch?
Bitch.
Your mom's a hoe.
And with that, welcome to the 4th episode of Might As Well Make a Podcast. Might as well.
We out there.
Yeah, and you probably heard the nice test recording. And as we all realized, we fucked up the mic situation last time.
Big time.
Yeah, so this is us trying to make sure that it will be sufficient enough this time.
Yeah, isn't it stupid that we ended rape and then started ear raping our listeners?
Exactly, we kind of contradicted each other, man.
Yeah, might as well not ear rape anymore.
It's a good motto. I can get behind it. And I think our viewers can too, you know? Unless... I mean, again, if you want to be ear raped, then feel free, you know?
Is it still rape then, if they want it?
That is true. Is the ear rape with consent still? Is that ear sex? What is it called? Oh, man.
I think that's just called Taylor Swift, right?
But I don't consent to Taylor Swift music. Just quickly, you know, get that out of the way. Oh man, this is off to a hot start. All right. What happened this week?
Yeah. The podcast related thing? Do you
I kind of want to address the podcast related thing.
We've been interviewed. How about that after 3 episodes?
We on Spotify and we interviewed and we're going to be published in a magazine. Look at us go.
Who would have thought?
Not me. Yeah, but...
It was a very interesting interview.
Very interesting.
I think even some topics we can talk about in the podcast because it made us think about things we didn't really think about.
Yeah. Very fair. What do you mean, for example?
Like more, I think that we didn't really explain or never really said out loud the whole mindset thing. Why we started this, where we're going to take this.
True.
I think we briefly mentioned it, but and our whole view on success.
Yeah, I mean, might as well is might as well. And I feel like that's a good topic to start it off with. I mean, we're making this podcast because we're like, fuck it, might as well make a podcast.
Exactly, we like to create.
Yeah, and we do wanna spice this podcast up though. It's not gonna be the usual podcast. You know, we're gonna do a thing or two to make this more interesting for you guys.
So stay tuned.
Exactly, big things coming.
Yeah, we're working on some things. We're excited.
Yeah, definitely. And besides that, you know, like the question, you know, where's this all going? That's like. I don't know. And we'll see, you know.
Yeah, and there's no pressure.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it. It's really just like we're committed to doing this podcast, but it's not a big commitment in that sort of sense. We meet up once a week to record this and then like, you know, switch like editing and then posting and then we're good. Yeah.
And I like the question that she asked, so what if it fails? And then we both immediately answered,
yeah,
there is no failure.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no such thing as failure.
Yeah, just us, but not the project. If you ask
my childhood.
Parents, exactly. Yeah, you know, but I think that's a great mindset to have on this whole thing.
Yeah. So it was a good thing that we fucked up the audio last week.
Yeah, and you learn from mistakes, you know. Now we made a test run. If the audio is so shitty, it's a shot in the leg, but we'll hope it's
I don't even know if I dare to say it. Like, oh no, now it's good, you know.
Exactly. I wasn't about to but now it's perfect, crisp, and you can just hear every breather. Great audio quality guaranteed in this podcast.
Always, every episode, exactly. Especially the 3rd one.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. But we actually made a special cover, you know, we're like, oh yeah, 3rd episode.
We were so happy after recording, like, this was so fun, yeah.
Yeah. Microphone audio was like, nah, I don't feel it. Not today, you know.
Understandable. Have a great day.
Exactly. But with the interview, you know, because one part of the whole interview vibe was also a little bit, let's say, experimental.
Mm-hmm.
So we got interviewed by 2 students from our university. So at their first year, so like it's not like we expected like a high amount of professionality. Good word to stumble on. Yeah, but we had quite the experience on a photo shooting.
Yeah, we still haven't seen the results.
I don't really know if I want to.
I don't really know how much I should say, because I don't know what's going to be published. So
True.
maybe, some things that we did, the people aren't going to know, and I like to keep it that way.
True.
Oh, fuck it, this is mine as well. I'm just saying at some point we laid together on the floor. We lie down.
In front of a couch.
In front of a couch, because why sit on the couch? So if you can lay on the floor very close to each other with the photographer standing over us, telling us to look into the sky like we're on drugs, just like in the podcast.
Yeah, you kind of sneak this to our podcast, but it's cool,
Good vibes though, good vibes.
Like intentionally looking in the camera, but like not, Can you please look intentionally in the camera? Like, yeah. Sure, like... but like all thanks to them, like it's thanks to them we're published in this magazine, and we're first year students. We all start somewhere. We didn't expect like to be interviewed by a professional duo.
Yeah, no shade. It was just a really funny experience to us, and we're glad that they're creating. So no shade against them, but it is funny. Yeah,
but the funniest thing to me was after we had the whole interview, and we like took also the pictures took like an hour, so maybe that added to the whole atmosphere, but they left and they just closed the door, and you can hear the girl say, well, this wasn't great. Yeah, but it was really audible to us, so we're like, okay, cool, yeah, thank you.
It sounded like she didn't even try to hide it, to be honest.
No, she was waiting to get out of the door just to say that sentence. Well, this wasn't that great.
But maybe it was us.
Could be.
No.
But then again, I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if we said it already, but thank you for listening to the 4th episode. And like always, we have a list of talking points.
Oh, yeah.
And I see something that I don't understand. I honestly thought it was a typo. It says F in een.
I think it is a typo. I think because like if I look below it, it's the queen of TikTok again, Yeah. And I think I just tried to not queen, but messed up. But anyway, so I don't remember, but like I don't know if you remember last week's episode. I think we talked about Charlie D'Amelio, whatever, like the queen of TikTok or whatever. And
we mentioned TikTok a lot in this podcast, by the way.
It's actually true. Have you seen the TikTok I filmed?
I don't want to know.
Okay, that's good. Anyway, I cringed to death. Anyways, Queen of TikTok. I'm mentioning it because I mentioned to you like that there was this whole controversy of her like not reaching 100 million in a year, right? Mm-hmm. So there was this uproar and whatever. So she took to TikTok crying about it. She was like, I don't have 100 million followers. It was like kind of like the follow-up, and now she reached it and she's all happy. So just wanted to quickly conclude the topic, but I was like, damn.
That's some real first world people problems right there.
Big time. They also have a podcast, by the way. I think the sisters. I really wonder what they talk about. Like, I haven't listened to it, but I don't know. It must be meaningful.
To be honest, what do we talk about?
Also true. I don't want to hate on anybody's podcast.
I remember because I had to explain to my dad, because my dad asked me, like, what have you been up to? Recorded a podcast. A podcast? What's that? Well, just have a conversation with a friend of mine, and then we record it and publish it. And people enjoy that. I guess. Then what do you talk about? everything.
I like that your dad is low-key sneak dissing you. Conversation with you in it. There's a reason I'm not ever listening to you.
Yeah. People tune into that. What?
Oh, crazy, man. But that's a good worldview. I don't think I had told my dad about it, but I don't know what he'd say. I need to do that soon. Good vibes. But since we're at the talking points, I'm very interested what Drake Cabana.
Cabana, I think.
Cabana?
That's the thing, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Because this is the name. This is a guy who changed his name. This is Drake Bell.
What?
Yeah, he changed his name.
Okay.
Yeah, I came across that on the internet, so I kind of looked into it. Because, of course, Drake Bell is from the series Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
And I guess after the show, he kind of wanted to have a breakthrough as a musician, right? And then not playing their intro song, but his own music. And it never really worked in America.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
This guy was touring big time in Mexico.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in Mexico. And now he moved to Mexico and he changed his name to Drake Cabana. And his whole Twitter is in Spanish now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The dude, honestly, smart move for him to get out of the States.
True. So.
Okay.
Now here comes a little bridge.
Okay.
He knows his audience.
Yeah.
Right? He knows he needs to go to Mexico. We want to know our audience. So if you have a talking point or something you want to have discussed in this podcast, please send a voice message to our Instagram or text us or whatever.
Yeah, feel free. And we're going to mention it in the podcast, But I love that bridge, man. We ready for ad reads. we are ready for ad reads. Bridge smoother than the bald head of
Dr.
my
Phil.
future self.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Phil too. Also, smooth baldness right there. Big bald energy.
I think I think it was Dan Baker, but I'm not sure. I think a similar story happened to a YouTuber.
Okay.
Who was doing YouTube like back in the day when people still make a lot of money, and he just did like parodies and shit and sketches like those days, like Nigga Higa days.
Oh, I know Bart Baker.
Bart Baker, yeah. Thank you,
oh,
thank
shit.
you.
Okay, we on it. Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he, because at some point, the whole ads thing on YouTube didn't go well, and people started making a lot less money, and he just became less relevant as trends do.
Yeah.
But China flew him over, and he started making TikToks in China, and just translating, like literally Google translating Chinese songs to English and then singing them on Chinese platforms, and he's hella popular there.
That's crazy.
And he actually booked a one-way plane ticket to China.
That's crazy.
But funny thing, right before the pandemic happened, and since then we haven't heard from him, so I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
So timing maybe not so good.
That's rough.
But also interesting, just know your audience and fucking go for it.
Yeah. But I feel like it's knowing your audience, but I'd say in general right now, the Asian market is pretty, like, if we would go in there, like with our podcast, for example, right? In a Chinese market, like really branded Chinese.
We get shot. I don't think we, or at least censored. I don't think we'll get through.
Oh yeah, censored. Okay, yeah, in China, yeah. But like, I feel like in general, like the whole Asian, like India, for example, like that whole market, it's a huge market.
Huge.
But you don't really see anyone like that we see here in the Western world really branch out to that market.
True.
Like at least content-wise.
Some athletes though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because usually the skill level of like soccer players is a bit lower there, so people who can't really make it here tend to go to Asia and
true. But same goes to the States too. Like
But-
washed up soccer players from Europe, they all play in the States.
But to be fair, I said know your audience, but I kind of felt like the guy sold his soul to China on that one.
Yeah, that's
because before he was making parodies of songs, and I think by the end he was just making parodies of himself as an American. Like he was just advertised as an American.
Oh, that's kind of smart. That's smart.
Yeah, but do you really want to be a parody of yourself like that?
It depends. Depends how well you can separate the character from yourself. But I feel like it would be kind of tough, especially if you brand that image of yourself, to then be recognized in public and people mentioning it to you. That would be the tough part for me, I would say.
Yeah.
But if you can separate it, and you actually can, then, you know.
That's pretty cool.
On that note, because you reminded me of something. Do you know Dennis Rodman?
Does ring a bell, but help me with this.
Okay, so this story is fucking crazy. So I don't know. Dennis Rodman is a former Chicago Bulls legend. Like he played in the NBA for years. Like he played alongside Michael Jordan, and he won 3 championships. Like no, I think more even, but like 3 with Michael, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, like after his career, he's a complete controversy. He married himself. He married himself.
How?
I don't know. He also, I think, was dating Madonna and cheated on her. Like,
that's a big baller move.
I know, a big baller move. But the dude was balling, like really balling. So, you know who he's friends with? Kim Jong-un.
What?
I know. So he's been flying.
How?
I don't know.
Where does that come into play?
So I saw this documentary on YouTube, right? And I think they wanted Dennis Rodman there for like some kind of basketball game because Kim Jong-un was a big Bulls fan back in the day. So he invited Dennis Rodman, and Dennis Rodman, who, like, because he's Dennis Rodman, he just flew there, said what's up, you know, like shook the hand, like was chilling with him and like all of this and all that. And like even Trump, like, because like it happened like especially also during the Trump presidency, Trump was so pissed about it that he was like, Dennis, because he was also friends with Trump.
Of course he is. I mean,
yeah, of course. And it's like, oh, Dennis, don't fly to North Korea anymore. He did it anyways. So he went to North Korea like 4 times and just like chilled there and whatever. It's crazy.
That's really crazy.
Man. Yeah, so just Dennis Rodman. Just a quick refresher. Great dude though, man. Definitely interesting.
Speaking about branching out, you know, to other countries.
Yeah.
I see a talking point that's called no white people.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, Twitter, right? Always a gem. So, I saw a post, like, it was like from like a, let's say a person with darker skin color. She posted like on Twitter, like, oh yeah, I need a hairdresser. No white people, right? And
that's oddly specific.
Exactly, but it like I don't think she meant it in a bad way, because like the hair of black people is usually a little bit different.
Needs to be treated differently than
exactly. Maybe she had bad experience. Who knows, right?
Okay.
So then,
still, it's a very blunt statement.
Very, very, and people pointed that out to her, right? People were like, "Oh well, if this would be reversed, then what the fuck is this, right?" But the tweet had so much support. Like she posted the picture, right, and then like a bunch of comments of people like sending her DMs of like, "Oh, that's kind of fucked up," like that kind of shit, right? But Twitter was like complete like, "Oh, why are they so like don't complain," and it's like, what? What? If this would be reversed, if I would like make a selfie, right, and just like, oh, need haircut, no black people.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, this is really a double standard then.
Yeah.
But I think Twitter is just in the stigma of the whole Black Lives Matter movement and doesn't want to take a stand.
Yeah.
Like against, there's not really against them, but
it's not
against them in a way. So they're just playing it safe. But that's really stupid.
But it doesn't make sense to me. Like, if we talk about stopping racism, like, I'm all for that. Racism is stupid and it shouldn't exist in the first place. And we as a society need to work on, you know, not having it anymore.
No one is born a racist.
Exactly. But we gotta, you know, same as we ended rape, we gotta end racism.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, racism ended. But we also need to look at both sides, you know. There is discrimination also against white people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because I'm necessarily offended because I'm white, but like, there is, you know.
Yeah, it's just a stupid statement. Very blunt.
It is. And it was shocking to me they got so much support.
Yeah, that's wow.
Because like really, if it would be reversed, like
Yeah.
you would never recover from this as like a person right now.
Your PR is gone.
Yeah, people would cancel you, like especially on Twitter, like the whole cancel culture thing and stuff.
Yeah.
So
That's hella weird.
yeah, so I had to bring it up in the podcast because I was like, God damn.
I didn't know, but this is just baffling. I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. No
white people.
Yeah, but like I don't think it was meant in a bad way. But then like her posting those DMs like, oh, those crybabies. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you can at least acknowledge like, hey, this isn't what I meant. I just meant no people who don't have experience with like that type of hair.
Yeah.
But nothing against white people. Then it would have been solved, right? I don't know why it's so hard to just acknowledge, hey, I didn't phrase it correctly.
Yeah. But the problem, even if that would be reversed then, like even if as a white guy, like you make that statement, no black people, and then you even write in brackets, just because, you know, I don't, you know, like different type of hair and
You're
stuff.
done.
Even then, you're done.
Yeah, you're
because
done.
it's against black people.
It's a double standard.
Yeah. And I feel like of course, white people did a lot of fucked up shit in the past. Don't get me wrong here. But we live in the now. And because one thing happened in history doesn't give the others a right to repeat it the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, history is important. And we shouldn't forget what has happened before. But acting like this isn't gonna bring balance in the future. No. It's not working towards a solution. It's just fighting again. And
it makes it worse.
You should know that that's not the way you want things to be, right? So, yeah, that's not how you get over this.
No, and I mean, not to keep being on the topic of racism, but I feel like all cultures have different stigmas towards other cultures, because that's how we are as humans. We always compare each other. We always look at this like, oh, look at them, and that's a cultural thing. And it's also, we have stereotypes for each culture and for each.
But it isn't the whole, because I do agree upon that, but I don't think people are racist, like born racist. No, because I feel like the difference there is that you can acknowledge that you are different, but it doesn't mean you're worthless.
Oh yeah, of course. Definitely. What I meant, I feel like every culture has stereotypes against every culture. Yeah. And racism is just living up to those stereotypes in the most extreme way by like actually hating those people for stereotypes
and judging people for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, same goes. Not every white person is racist, you know. So same thing applies for all other cultures. Yeah. But yeah, that's
interesting thing. Is it now a stereotype that white people are racist?
I don't know. I feel like definitely a handful of people think so.
Yeah.
I think for some people it's definitely a stereotype that white people are racists. Huh. I'd say, but that's
that's I guess we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But fuck it, it's might as well, right? So we can say
whatever we want.
For
that coming out. Focus group. Yeah, but it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. Mm-hmm. But to not hang on the drastic racism side, what are the birds and bees but they don't fuck and selling your soul to China about? Or are those separate?
Yeah, those were separate. Something went wrong in the document.
Okay.
So it's just the birds and the bees, but they don't fuck.
Okay. What's
because I think this can be a big topic. Because I thought it would be interesting to talk about what we've learned. Okay. From the pandemic so far, especially because we have a vaccine now, right? Vaccine. Yeah. So it's coming to an end at some point, probably. We can talk about it for hours, I know. Yeah. But what have we learned so far? I thought that would be interesting to talk about. I know we can talk for hours about society-wise, and we can definitely talk about that, but more like personally. What have you learned?
So personally, so like not as the overall, but like
what has the lockdown brought you, for example?
I'd say just like a small thing because it's also kind of societal. Societal. Mm-hmm. What's up with my words today? But it's that media is biased. Like, you hear it from all the time, but I feel like during the pandemic, it got even more clearer to a more broader population, including myself, how biased media really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Framing is a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that got especially clear to me during this pandemic, because like some things, like especially you heard everything about this pandemic, like someone like, oh, it causes brain damage, and then, oh yeah, no, it's harmless, and then everybody said what they thought was like the agenda that they had to say.
Funny thing, I think Russia said that the vaccine that England has turns you into an ape.
Man. And I hate that government officials are just playing with the media at this point.
Did you also see the Russia shit that I think England said, we have a vaccine that is like 90% sure it will work. And then Russia said, we have a vaccine that is 92% sure it will work. Like, really? Really?
It's such a dick comparison between countries, man. It's crazy. But what have you learned?
Well, to come back to the birds and the bees, but they don't fuck.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of time to think, right, in the whole lockdown.
Yeah.
As for now, I don't necessarily want kids.
Okay. Yeah.
How about you?
I don't know. Like, at some point, I feel like it's always a nice thing to imagine to be a dad one day, to just like take care of kids and this and that. But you can technically do it in other ways. Like, you can adopt a kid, which would be way more helpful for the world as its own. Like, you help a person out, like you help a young kid out, and second of all, you because the world hella overpopulated, you know.
True.
And then also, right now, would I want to place a kid in this world? Hell no.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what this world will be in 10 years, and I have no idea if I would be able to financially be stable enough, or just the world to be stable enough for me to raise a kid. So I feel your concern, but why? What has come to your conclusion?
And that's just a feeling. But what I wanted to talk about is early in the pandemic, I had a talk with my roommate, and she said, because we were just talking about kids, and I said, well, I don't know, I don't necessarily want kids. She said, oh no, but like I really, really want kids, and I feel like my life, the whole purpose of my life is to have kids. And then, I kind of started thinking about that, like, but I don't have that, because it's not that I feel more complete or less complete as a human if I don't have a kid.
You don't know that yet.
Yeah, but she already has the feeling that she won't be complete until she has a kid.
That's true.
I don't have that feeling. I don't share that. But, there is some common sense in that everyone wants to reproduce, right?
Yeah.
Every animal, the whole purpose of life is reproducing.
Yeah.
But then, also thinking about the interview, it came back to maybe us creating. Maybe us creating stuff is our, those things can be our children. Because we're kind of creating something out of nothing that is our product. That we put our little everything into, and then it's out there. So maybe, maybe I am still a normal human and I like to reproduce, but it's just in creations and not necessarily kids.
That's deep, bro. That's deep. But I do think that way. I mean, people call their projects their baby for a reason, Yeah. If you put a lot of passion and a lot of heart into something, then things just become really close to your heart and you feel really connected to a project or something that you created. So I think it's definitely a good substitute to use all the time you more have not raising a kid, putting it in a project, because raising a kid is hella time consuming too.
Ooh, hella.
So I do get where you're coming from, totally.
Yeah, and I know you post shit about mental health.
Yeah.
With your whole streaming Instagram page. And I was wondering, what did you learn during this pandemic? Maybe like considering mental health.
Considering mental health, I gotta say, because
it's a big thing, right? And
definitely
this whole change of life for a lot of people.
Yeah. I personally gotta say I learned a lot by learning to roll cards, and that might seem confusing, but like tarot cards, I had a guidebook that kind of like had definitions for what each card means. And just from learning the definitions and reading them, I felt like I got so much wiser, because the advice like the tarot cards give you sometimes, especially like the one that I had, just made so much sense. Like you know it, but then you read it and you learn it and you repeat it and you're like, wow.
Do you have an example for that?
41 upside down, unexpected visitors. And that card says that obstacles and adversity that you face are only as big as you make them to be. And it's something like, of course, it's like preached, like if you think something small, things become easier. But it really is that way, If we keep making excuses, and the same thing goes for work, If we keep making excuses, I can't do this today because we are built to make excuses because we want to be comfortable.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that as well during this pandemic. Like talking about work is chasing your vocabulary and not saying, I gotta go to work.
Yeah, I get to.
Yeah, I get to, and I want to go to work. There's a difference between needing to do stuff and wanting to do stuff. You don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to pay taxes.
Yeah.
But then again, we also really want to pay taxes, right? I mean.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
I loved the box 1, box 3.
Oh yeah.
Really
gets
me going.
Texas, but still.
That's horny as fuck.
Oh yeah. The horny hour.
But other shit to kind of relevate things for yourself. Like okay. Shit, I gotta work out today. No, I want to work out today because, I want to feel strong, because that's, for me, working out is not necessarily about looking good, but, feeling good.
Yeah.
So, I want to feel strong. I want to feel healthy. So, fuck it. I want to work out today and I don't need to work out today.
Yeah. I've also, like, for about a month now, I've been starting to wake up at 8:30 every day and go for a run. Like, that's how I start my day. And from that routine, I gotta say, like, whenever I'm running, I have a routine of, like, smiling. It sounds stupid, but, like, I'm smiling and I said, you know what? I get to go on this run today. There's so many people in this world that either just really can't go for a run today because they're, like, handicapped or have some kind of disability or live in a war zone and don't feel safe if they go for a morning run and stuff like that, And I'm alive, which is not a given.
Yeah, and healthy even.
Exactly. So that makes it just so much better for me to go on that run, because it's also a realization of, fuck yeah, I'm living another day. It's not a given, Shit can happen all the time.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, but
And I think both of us, maybe it would have happened without the pandemic, I don't know, but I think for both of us, we became way more productive during the pandemic.
Yeah, definitely, I'd say so.
Maybe because we're home more, so you kind of have more time.
I guess. I think it could be a reason.
Yeah. And I started making like to-do lists in the morning.
Yeah,
in the pandemic.
totally.
Also, in the beginning, I did it like very wrong. I started making to-do lists, and then by the end of the day, if I didn't have everything done, I kind of would feel shitty. And then normally in the evening, I would put on like joggers or something, and then I would tell myself, no, you can't wear joggers tonight because you didn't finish your to-do list.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is just fucking stupid.
I don't think it is.
I think it is, because it's some sort of self-punishment, because this is what I learned. Give yourself advice like you would advise your friend. Because I would never tell you, you didn't do your to-do list today, now you have to wear your jeans for tonight.
True.
Like, I would never tell you that. So why am I that strict to myself?
That's a good question, but funnily enough, the last book I read is Atomic Habits. Great book, by the way. And he talks about if you want to stick to something, if you want to build a habit, you need to also come up with punishments in order to overcome bad habits. Mm-hmm. So in a sort of sense, like, for example, like I have one of those punishments in that sort of sense where if I go on social media before 12, I need to do a push-up every time I do. It's not too hard, but it is some sort of punishment because it gets you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, but I think because then it also brings you something when you do a push-up.
True.
Me wearing jeans at night or joggers.
True.
You know, or
True.
just keeping on jeans is just sole punishment. It's not bringing me anything.
That's also fair. Also fair.
So I feel like there should be some balance to it.
Definitely.
Because you're making a to-do list and you're working on yourself to feel better in the end.
True.
And I feel like if you, like, I felt so stupid looking back at like punishing myself, because that is not making me feel any better. So and I get your point.
Yeah.
I definitely do. So there should be some balance in there.
Yeah, definitely. You need to find a good punishment that's like good for the cause that you have.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't make it just like, oh yeah, especially the punishment. I'm not gonna wear joggers. I'm gonna wear jeans. It's like, oh well, now I'm in bed, but I'm uncomfortable. But I'm still in bed. You know, it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean. It's
Sometimes you're way harder on yourself than you would be on anyone else.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a good thing because it drives you more, but sometimes it can be a pain in the ass because you just feel like shit if you're not accomplishing things that you want.
You're
to
your
do.
own worst enemy.
Yeah. But the same comes with doubt. I feel like doubt is the one thing that kills your creativity.
Yeah.
If you think of an idea, if you think of a project, and then this, evil mind inside of you just comes up and is like, hey, you can't do it. You ain't shit, Mm-hmm. And then it's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And overcoming that is also hella tough.
I think that also came back in the interview, by the way. But they asked us, why do you make the podcast together? Why not with someone else? Like, why you two?
Yeah.
And I think we answered something in that manner. Like, I know when I approach Philip with an idea and we talk about it, we're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
We do more than we talk about shit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's important.
Yeah.
It's important. To do is more important than to think about it. I'm not saying start anything without thinking about it, but doing it is the most important step in it.
Yeah.
Actually doing the work and sticking to it.
And, then maybe you get the voices like, you're not going to make it, or what's the point? But that's also so great about this podcast, because there is no point.
Exactly. So we really created the easiest habit. It's just showing up. That's all that it is necessarily. Because talking isn't, it's like talking, but it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially because I feel like in today's day and age, as cliche as it sounds, you generally don't have as many legit conversations anymore without anyone getting distracted by a phone notification or anything else that just suddenly abrupts the flow of the conversation.
True. Also, I noticed that actually like deeper conversation happen more often now in the pandemic because you are with less people. Yeah. Because you're less likely to talk about some deep shit within a big group, right? Because that's not, to me, that's not really the setting to talk about it.
No, not really.
But now you're more secluded, and then some deeper conversations.
Definitely.
If you're wondering, that's fireworks you're hearing.
Gunshots.
We'll be in the hood.
Yeah. I mean, kind of. No, I mean, not really. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But this pandemic really has taught me a lot personally. And I think you too, like, as you said, productivity. And
we both started reading again.
Yeah, self-improvement has been on our radar, this whole pandemic. And it's so important. So important.
So important.
Man, my voice today. But also, I have a hot take when it comes to self-improvement and stuff, right? And why we stopped reading in the first place. And I know the school system, we can talk about it forever as long as we want to, but I feel like one thing they don't really do a good job in, which necessarily is like half their fault, half isn't. But I feel like in school, you never really had the motivation to do something, but you just had to do it. It's not, it's rarely because you actually wanted to learn.
Yeah, and then your teachers would always say, don't do it for me, do it for you.
Yeah.
And you would be like, but,
Yeah,
I don't really want to do this. I want to pay taxes.
Exactly. I want to be a good civilian one day. No, but I think it's just so annoying in a sort of way, because I feel like if school would have somehow, I mean, it's a tough task. I'm not saying it's easy. Like teaching kids something that they want to learn is tough. But give them more choices, maybe, or something.
Yeah, or put it in a different context. Because I remember in maths class, I was always pretty good at maths. And at some point, I kind of just stopped trying because I was trying to figure out how something worked. And I just realized, like, I will never use this. So I asked my teacher, like, when will I use this? Yeah, like when you want to build a bridge. I don't know. No, I don't really want to build a bridge. So how about you put it in a different context of it's like problem solving, and then what do you like? Making a podcast. Oh, then you're probably gonna run into problems, and then you need to solve them. Yeah. So just the context could already make a big difference than just saying, if you want to build a bridge. Yeah. I don't want to build a bridge. Fuck off.
That was a good example. That was a really good example, and I feel like we've all been at that point asking teachers, "Why the fuck am I doing this?" Yeah. And most of the times it's like, "Oh, it's in the book. You have to learn it." It's like, bitch. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to learn this shit. So I don't know, man.
On the school topic, I feel like how to adult should be a subject that kind of explains the basic things of being an adult.
Oh yeah,
we talked about it last week, doing taxes. Groceries. Oh yeah, taxes, because I really love paying taxes. Yeah.
But I actually have no idea about taxes.
Same.
Like, let's be real. It should be fucking... If government is preaching us to pay taxes, then fucking teach it, Like, the fuck?
Yeah, but just those adult things where, you're supposed to know it, and most people kind of figure it out on their own, but wouldn't it have been the worst thing to kind of have that as a subject?
No, and then especially, like, I would love to have subjects like, for example, healthy cooking. Yeah. Something like that, like practical
meal
classes.
Prepping, like how... Yeah. How do you even... Because I know it's a struggle for people to do weekly shoppings because they just have no idea. So how do you plan your week with eating? Yeah. And then you can put in the healthy eating.
Yeah, and it's actually something you benefit from. Like if you're full on into math, do math, but don't force it onto so many people that know they're not going to do fucking jack shit with math, So... I don't know.
And, I get why math is important because it's, it's kind of a brain teaser level that you need to have, but then put the context in. And I think a lot can be broken down, or taken away. I feel like I still learned a lot of unnecessary shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like I could be on the same level without having done all the bridges.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like math just gets, like, let's say 7th, 8th grade is... it's good that it's there. It's necessary. But then when the, alphabet comes into play and all that, even the beginnings of that, okay. Mm-hmm. But then when it starts to get freaky, I'm like, what is this point, Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. Like, I'm never going to use this. No. And math teachers have the toughest time to answer the question that you asked,
I know.
Toughest time.
And, my mom actually, she studied to become a math teacher.
Oh shit!
And she was standing in front of the class, like teaching math in high school. And then she asked me, like, can you, like, how would you say I can do this in a more entertaining way? And I just had no idea.
You can't.
Because you just need to do it. Yeah. There's no... Because when you have a subject like history and you have someone who's really passionate talking about it, that really helps. But like math, you just need to do it. It's not really... Yeah, it's just also practice of understanding how it works. It's not,
Yeah, you can't really bring passion into it. I guess you could make it entertaining by using objects to like signify certain things. Or, like,
maybe visualize how it works, but still, it's a very difficult
task. Yeah, make math class entertaining is very difficult, really. Yeah. Honestly. Sounds more like a theater play. Entertaining math class. Woo!
I was talking about this with a colleague this week. How fucking physics teachers are always the weirdest people.
Oh, yeah.
And then I thought about it. Of course they are. Because physics is something completely different from teaching. Those are two fucking counter opposites. We also thought about, because in the Netherlands you have 2 bachelors, right? A Bachelor of Science and a Bachelor of Arts.
Okay.
But a physics teacher... it's in between.
Kinda,
both science and arts. It's complete differences.
True.
So maybe that's why they're always kind of wacky.
That is true, man. Also, I don't know. You probably feel the same way, but I had some wacky teachers during my high school time, man. Yeah. Wacky. We had this one dude, also math teacher, which I feel like math teachers, nothing against your mom, but like usually are also more on the drier spectrum of people. which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. Quickly between, then you can continue with the story with my mom.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think in her 40s, she decided, fuck it, my passion was always math. I'm gonna study math. And then, within the studies, she got to teach. And then she realized, I really love math. But I fucking hate children.
Okay, great.
Or having to deal with children, because, not everyone is as perfect as I am. So she wasn't used to that. So.
No, but makes sense, man. Makes sense. But
so no offense taking with that comment.
No, for sure. But I mean, that's good. Didn't want to offend your mom. No, but we had this math teacher, and he was always wearing sandals. But like, it was December, it was snowing, and the motherfucker was wearing sandals, no socks.
Ew.
Yeah, and you're like, bro, like...
I think this is the one occasion where I would say, please wear socks with your sandals.
Exactly, man. And we were in Germany too, it's unlikely to see someone wearing sandals without socks. Oh. It's against the national dress code. Good vibes, man, good vibes.
Yeah. That was it?
Yeah, that was it. Just wanted to quickly say that.
That he wore sandals.
Yeah. So, selling your soul to China. What is that about?
That was the YouTuber we talked about.
Oh, shit. Okay. So we had... Okay. So that's that talking point. Alright.
Oof. I don't know. I also had some wacky teachers. But I think with most teachers who are wacky, it's just that they didn't really succeed in their own field, like their own expertise, and then just became a teacher. Like, okay, then I'll become a teacher.
Could be. Honestly, could
like their first passion wasn't teaching.
Yeah, I could imagine that. I feel like mostly teachers are just like, oh, I like the subject. I feel like teaching, I also know so many people like that I went to school with that are now studying to become a teacher.
Same.
So many people.
Same.
And that just seems to me like you can't finish school. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but like...
Well, yeah, because it sucks to say, because like 2 of my best friends are studying to become a teacher right now. But I kind of feel like if you, this early in your life, already want to become a teacher...
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's a hot take. Then you didn't branch out enough. Then that's your comfort zone, what you've always known. I went to school and I've met these people who are teachers, and now I want to become like those people.
Yeah,
you never really branched out to do something else.
You never leave the school building. Yeah. In that sense, like you study. Oh wow, university, and then when that time's over, you go back to the same fucking building you've been to for so many years.
Yeah,
and
but it's a good pay, good retirement plan.
Definitely,
nothing
and
against
good hours.
That. Yeah,
good hours necessarily.
Good vacation days.
Yeah, and if people do it with passion and they really want to teach people or kids, for example, then go ahead, do your passion, but the sheer amount of people I know that are instantly becoming teachers, it's kind of like, man, just try around a little bit, see if you like something else more. Because a lot of those people are especially like, I would have never assumed them to become a teacher. I mean, I guess how well do you really know people? But I don't know,
Yeah. And I think actually the best teachers I had in high school also weren't meant to be teachers, but that was what made them fun in a way, that they didn't take it too seriously or anything.
Yeah. That's true, actually. That's true.
They were just passionate about the subject and
wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
And they didn't care who it was, so they was like, fuck it, I'm a teacher to kids.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is a nice way to do it, honestly.
That is nice.
Well, we're at 47 minutes. Do we want to keep it spicy, or you have something more to talk about? Because we can also, of course...
Well, we can go back to the whole subject of children.
Alright,
because you said, I do want to be a dad. And that's the thing. I don't necessarily want to have children, but I do want to have a dad. And I think I already said this to you, but I want to have... When I'm older and I don't have kids, I want to have one dad day a year. When I just dress up with, khaki pants, those brown ones. And then a polo shirt tucked in, belt.
Yeah.
Then you do dad stuff. Wake up at 5 a.m. Then, and then when everyone wakes up, complain like, oh, I was up at 5 a.m. And then at 10 a.m. fall asleep again on the couch.
Always then, turn TV on, fall asleep on couch.
Yeah.
Also important.
Stand by the window with some whatever nuts in your hand and just kind of wobble it around while staring at your porch.
Yeah. Cutting an apple with a pocket knife.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All the good dad things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
watching YouTube videos with full volume on your phone.
yeah. Then also every garden work imaginable. Hose. Put some water on it.
I mean, my dad is man versus lawn.
My dad too.
Dear listeners, this is a real story. We once
I love this story. Okay.
We went to run some sort of errands, I don't know, and we came back and our grass in our front lawn was stolen. I'm not even kidding. Someone stole our grass.
That's so crazy to me, so bro. Like, what kind of operation was that? Did they scout Pacific front lawns? We're like, oh fuck, see that fresh grass over there? Was it cows?
It wasn't
I don't know, bro. Like, who has interest?
It wasn't even that good of grass, I think. Like, and it took forever to grow back because grass doesn't grow that fast.
Yeah.
So for forever, we just had like an earthy front lawn.
What was your dad's initial reaction?
I learned some new words that day.
How old were you?
I think I was like 15.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
No, I think no. I think my dad didn't swear that much. I think he just looked very disappointed, like actually hurt.
He took so much work. That was his baby right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you were next to him, but like his baby was right there. He was stolen. He loved to have conversations with that lawn.
Mm-hmm. I remember on the farm we had a big pond in the backyard, and we always had a little island where ducks would sit on. And my dad was taking care of the pond. He tried to stand on the little island, and apparently it was just some floating debris. This guy just walked straight into the pond, and I just looked at it like, "What are you doing?"
That's a good vibe.
Then I just heard, "Jason, towels."
That's big brain move right there. Also, what you're gonna do on the dad day, you're just gonna step in some ponds, see what's good.
But I heard your dad is also a man versus lawn.
Oh yeah, yes. I think he just takes good care of his garden. Like I don't know. He recently moved to the property with like a bigger garden. And he's taking good care of that shit. Like, he's like whenever I'm not visiting them that much, but because it's far away. But he's always working on the lawn. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But he always has this like outdoor projects, like real dad stuff,
Nice.
Using saw, nail hammer, like all that good shit. And now he's building, I think, tables out of oil containers. Like those big oil tons.
Mm-hmm.
And he just
barrels.
Oil barrel, perfect, thank you. He just like paints them, puts a logo on them, builds a table out of it, sells it to bars.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff, like the epiphany of that stuff. But yeah, good vibes.
Yeah. So we want to end it on our daddy's issues.
We can. I mean, because we thought about making this maybe a little bit crispier, because we've gotten some feedback that maybe an hour may be too long for now. So, we're at 52 minutes right now, which I'd say is solid.
It's solid.
I had a great time this podcast, I gotta
Same.
say. Flew by again the time.
Yeah, and I hope it's recorded properly.
Yeah, I hope
And
so.
for our listeners, stay tuned. We want to hear those voice messages.
Oh yeah, don't forget those.
And we have, we kind of want to expand the boundaries of the podcast in the future, so stay tuned.
Oh yeah.
Maybe... Are you already gonna
I wouldn't
tease something?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Okay, stay tuned. You'll see.
Yeah, stay tuned. I mean, we don't want to say too much here, but stay tuned. There are gonna be some interesting things you may be able to listen to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, fair enough.
Don't forget to create.
No. We ended racism.
Don't be racist. Don't rape.
Don't hate.
Don't be racist. Don't be rapist.
Exactly. Take care of your mentals. Very important.
Yeah. Eat the mentals.
Take care of your greens. Eat your mentals.
Eat all your veggies. Get enough sleep.
Yeah. Very important, sleep.
If you question yourself, would my mom be okay with this? Don't do it.
Very fair, very fair. Unless it's in bed.
Okay. Roll the outro.
Okay. Might as well.
Give it to them.